Everybody, welcome and good evening. So happy to be with you all tonight. This is our United Nations call, and we do this wonderful call once a month, typically the second Wednesday of the month. So we really appreciate you taking time out and joining us tonight. And we have a very, very special treat in store for you this evening, and that is AM and Qual Chrissy Burnsworth. She's going to share her story. I love it. You guys are so great. I love the support and I love the love that you guys give one another. So definitely, yeah, fire up the comments and we'll get the ball rolling. I had a lovely conversation with our National Vice President in Qualification, Alyssa Cavallero, on Monday, and she just couldn't say enough things about how in awe she was of Chrissy and her journey, and certainly what's been bubbling up in Chrissy's business since the start of this year or late last year. So I would love for Alyssa to share a few words about Chrissy, and then Chrissy will turn it over to you.
All right, can you guys hear me? Perfect. So Chrissy and I met in college, and we had a ton of mutual friends. And I always say that Chrissy, even though she wasn't the first consultant that joined my team, she was the first actual consultant that joined my team, because she was the first one that actually started working a business. So she didn't just join and get some products at a discount. She joined and she was a total rock star. And I knew from the second that Chrissy jumped into our clean eating program with her results that she would just totally rock this business, and she has proved nothing short of that. And I have just seen so much change in Chrissy over the past couple years. She has become one of the most positive and encouraging people that I know. And you know, when she decided to commit to her business, which I know she'll talk about, she has gotten her district manager bonus every single month since she jumped back in. And obviously that's why she's an area manager qualification. And she's just somebody that sets a goal and goes for it. And she's always been that type of person. And so I know that Christy and I were destined to meet in college. And even though we hung out in totally different circles of friends, we didn't really connect until after college. It was just destined to happen. So I'm super excited to hear from Chrissy and for you guys to hear from her, because she is going to be raw and real and just share everything with you guys. And I know that you're going to all leave here totally different and totally changed. So Chrissy, come on.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay, I can only see about 5 of you because I have everything on my computer. Because if you know anything about me, I'm like the biggest procrastinator ever, and I feel like I do the best stuff like in the last 5 minutes. So I kind of just put all my thoughts on a piece of paper and I'm going to roll with it. So here we go. So like Alyssa said, I am soon to be area manager Chrissy Burnsworth, and I'm super excited to be able to share my journey with you all tonight. So thank you, Becky and Alyssa, for even asking me to do this. I am a sheets manager by day and a dog mom, personal chef, pretend housewife, and I just took on a new hobby of landscaping because I decided to buy a yard that was an acre and then purchase a lawnmower that I had to push. So I have some new things in my back pocket. But if you're not familiar with sheets, if you live in a different area that doesn't have them, we are a food service industry that sells gas, and it's a really fun environment. We're really big on a team and unity and stuff. So that's what I do every day. So you're probably wondering why I'm the one here and why my journey is so important for you all to hear. So just listen up, and I think you're going to catch on really soon. I'm going to start this out by giving you a person to think about. This girl was a star athlete in high school who stepped onto college turf and choked. Someone who never studied and still pulled off good grades, but realized quickly while pursuing a bachelor's degree that she was in no way doing what she wanted to be doing. She got her heart completely broken by a jerk, and she oftentimes wondered if she was the only person crying herself to sleep every night. She ate her feelings, and her muffin top was showing that. She had a job that she loved, but she still was missing something. She experienced the ultimate heartbreak when she buried her dad when she was just 23 years old. Her glass was always half empty, There was no light at the end of the tunnel, and she really didn't know if there was any light at all. So this was me. This was me in a very short and blunt form, but it's the truth. I was a washed out athlete with 5 years of college under my belt, what felt like a broken family, and so much confusion in my head and my heart. I knew I didn't belong where I was, but I felt so sorry for myself at the time that I thought things would just have to change because surely I didn't deserve this. So entering in October in the year of 2013, like Alyssa said, her and I both knew each other in college, and honestly, I think those are probably 2 years we just completely block out anyways. But in true college fashion, we were Facebook besties. So here comes Alyssa posting all about this 28-day detox, because at the time, that's what it was. I have no idea at all what made me message her that day, but I know for sure that that was God's way of putting her in my life to start to pave my broken road. So I did the challenge. I had amazing success. And then I got the dreaded 3-way call from Kendall and Alyssa. Why the heck were these 2 gorgeous girls asking me, of all people, to join their business? Do they realize I'm like this closet makeup lover, but I could never ever say that out loud, that I sold this stuff, because I for sure didn't fit the part. But let's be real. I wanted to do this. I wanted to have something like this so bad. I wanted to live like they were living and be as pretty as they were, and that was it. Just live life and be pretty. But I still said no. I said no because I hadn't tried all of the products yet. That was kind of the only excuse I could come up with, like spur of the moment. So here comes Rockstar Alyssa. Well, why don't you just host a party and see how it goes? Oh, okay, cool. Sure, I'll do that. And as I thought the conversation would end and turn to a text where I could later tell her that I was just too busy to ever be able to host, here comes Alyssa again. Okay, so is this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, in the morning or afternoon better for you? So come on, there's like no getting out of this. So my inner self just says Friday, and boom, my party was booked. I told everybody about my party, and it was so easy for people to come to this party because they had seen my success with the challenge. So I already had their attention. Alyssa comes and starts to casually like set up and says, so how many people are you having tonight? And I was like, oh, like 15 or 16. Now, if you know Alyssa, you can probably guess what happened next. Insta hives. And that's where it ends. I was one of Alyssa's, like she said, first big parties. Oh, well, I was probably the biggest one at that time. But all jokes aside, my party went awesome. I knew I had to do this, and that night I signed up as a consultant. October 25th, 2013 was my start date officially with our company. I attended my first GTC in May of 2014 as a brand new district manager. That following June, sorry, my voice is cracking. That following June, I promoted out 2 district managers, and I was on a roll. I met some of the best friends ever. We had so much fun. There's still girls I turn to for everything now, which is just so crazy to me how you grow up and people tell you who's going to be your friends and whatnot. But I met these girls when I first started my business. I knew I found my happy ever after, but what I didn't know was that my happy ever after wasn't ready for me yet. I always talked about Arbonne like it was the best thing in the world. Like this would be the one thing that would truly save somebody's life. This was the one company that it didn't matter your size, your color, your religion, nothing. None of it mattered. In fact, this is what I spoke about in all of the presentations I did. You know what the truth really was? I believed this was the best company in the world for anyone beside me. I just didn't realize that at the time. I signed up some rock stars. I had an amazing downline full of potential or personal volume and team volume. I absolutely loved making the money. And the fact that I was keeping a district floating by literally doing nothing at all was when I started to kind of roll backwards. I would often think, why does she keep telling me to book these parties and stuff? I'm still making a paycheck, and I was comfortable. In January of 2015, Miss Jessie Wagner joined my team, and she was added through a consultant that has since given up her ID. That following March, my team went area qual with 14,416 in volume, and we rounded out that following month of April doing 9,518. You heard me right. I missed area by 66 in volume, $66. But the worst part of that was that month that I went qual, my PQV was only 245, and that's super embarrassing. I gave up. Somebody below me was clearly so much better at this than I was, so that was it. I knew I couldn't do this anymore. I stopped going to meetings. I stopped working my business, or should I say my hobby. But rest assured, anytime I was losing my district, I would literally come out of nowhere with the volume to keep it. Then I eventually lost my district in June of 2016. My towel was thrown in. I had FOMO, but my excuses outweighed my regrets. I since promoted at Sheets and became a store manager, thank God, because I felt like I finally had a valid excuse to give Alyssa that didn't make me look like a total failure. I was super torn in my heart, though. I got promoted at Sheets and had no idea how I could balance that and Arbonne, so I chose Sheets. I watched from the sidelines. I still stayed in all the groups. I would throw in some volume here and there. I'd say how bad I wanted to go to GTC, but I never would. And I watched everybody else fulfill the dreams that I once had. A year passed, and something incredible was happening on our team. And what better way to get involved again than to help be a part of someone promoting to a national vice president? You guessed it, out of the woodwork again, I came and I promoted to DM in June of 2017 and was able to be a very small part of us officially becoming a nation. I was just getting my toes wet here and honestly almost lost my district again that October. In December, I sat down one night and I reflected on the past year. So I started doing this a couple years ago, and what I do, I go through my phone and I look through my pictures and I pull up like all of the cool things I did that year, and I like document it within that month. So I can like regroup and be like, oh, cool, that was a fun year. But this year I sat down and wrote all of the things I wanted to do but never got around to. I wrote down all of the goals I didn't hit, opportunities that I missed out on, and unfortunately, my bad list outweighed the good. I took a good, hard look in the mirror and gave myself some long overdue advice. This world owes you nothing that you can't offer this world. Something in my mind and in my heart that day said I was done. I was done making excuses. I was done talking the talk and never walking the walk. I was done being selfish. I was done creating goals that were only unrealistic because I was never willing to put the work in to get them accomplished. I was done feeling sad that none of my friends weren't in Arbonne anymore, and I literally was going to be the outcast of the group for a little. Angela Duckworth talks about the switch that happened in me in her research about grit. So if you've ever listened to her very brief description on TED Talk, she states that grit is passion and perseverance for very long-term goals. Grit is having stamina. Grit is sticking with your future day in and day out, not just for the week, not just for the month, but for years, and working really, really hard to make that future a reality. So this is why I'm in front of you, because I threw away my fixed mindset. I adopted a growth mindset and decided that as of January 1st, I was finally going to become the best consultant on my team that I was going to rebuild. I set some huge goals for myself that night, goals that were going to take a lot of work to accomplish, but I knew this year was going to be different for me, so I wrote them down anyways. I was going to become a regional vice president. I was going to buy a house, I was going to buy another dog, and I was going to lose 100 pounds. I can proudly say that one of these goals officially has been checked off my list as I became a brand new homeowner on my 30th birthday at the end of February. I have lost more weight this year than I have in the past 2 combined already, and it's only May. I am well on my way to promoting and officially planning my car presentation. And my dog is psycho, so I am okay if that is one goal that I do not add another crazy golden retriever to the mix. So why me tonight? Why me sit here and tell you about my journey? Sometimes all it takes is one person to say something to you that literally plays in your head over and over again. We started a training call in the beginning of this year within our region. And in January, we heard from area manager Jamie Spencer. And she said a lot of things in the training, and it was wonderful. But one thing stuck out to me, and she kept repeating it. And she said, going area is not hard. That has stuck with me, and I have heard that every single day. I'd love to tell you guys that I have all of the missing advice that you've been waiting for, but I don't, because I'm just going to repeat to you what we've all heard over and over again, but it just may be me that you needed to hear it from. Personal growth is everything. I listen to an audiobook every single day. I fortunately, and I know people wouldn't consider this fortunate, but I do, so I can listen to my audiobooks, have a 40-minute drive to work. That is when I choose to do that. I feel like I've focused my mind so hard on these audiobooks that if I don't listen to my audiobook that morning, I literally have the worst day ever. I focus on my goals a lot. I envision all of the amazing things I have planned for my life to come. I have begun writing my resignation letter to a company that has truly been really great to me. I'm just really sick of getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning to go to work. Tomorrow I have to get up at 1 o'clock to go to work. I have done my best to connect with my sideline sisters, and I don't mean just liking their posts on Facebook. For me, it was so important to get involved in their lives and get to know them. I write their goals down alongside mine, and sometimes I cheer a little harder for them than I do myself, and I'm totally okay with that. I finally feel thankful for what I have. I feel blessed for the money that I'm making and to be forming bonds with people that I'm meeting by complete random. I'm hyper-focused on a goal and not so much how I'm going to get there. I just know it's going to happen, and I buckle up and I put my faith in God's hands, and I continue to be consistent. I have made sure to earn my DM bonus and grow my business, even if just by a little, every single month since January. I talk to at least 5 people a day. I hold Facebook Lives a lot because that has really worked well for me. And the biggest thing for me overall is I embrace the chaos. This is truly the most tired I have ever been in my whole entire life. In fact, like I said, I have to get up at 1 o'clock in the morning to leave my house at 2 o'clock to be at work by 3 o'clock tomorrow. And I didn't even hesitate to say yes to being on this call. I have so much going on in my job that I literally leave every single day saying that my brains are going to come out of my eyeballs because my head is pounding. But I sit down in my car and I say thank you. I am so tired, I literally dread cooking dinner sometimes, but I change my thought process quickly and say to myself, be thankful that you even have food in your fridge to cook. Being too busy was always my excuse. And when I want that to be my excuse these days, I really think of the girls that I have bonded with through our team. They have babies, other jobs, other businesses, other dogs. They book more parties than I do. They're networking groups. You name it, these girls are truly the busiest I know. So I think of them and I stop complaining and I do the do and then I rest because I need sleep. So In closing, I just want you guys to know that this truly has to be a feeling for you. You have to decide that your grit is going to be so cutthroat that your friends and family aren't going to recognize you anymore. You have to decide that there's no time for a pity party. There's only time to get stuff done. I type shit, but I was not going to swear, but I have to say it. Get her done. You have to believe so far deep in your core that you can do this, that you are so worthy of doing this. Someone out there is watching you and you probably have no idea who they are. Someone out there seriously needs you. They need to hear your story. You need to save their life. You have to believe that me, your team, your sidelines, and your uplines, we all need you too. You have to show up, you have to grow up, and you have to have grit. That's it.
Oh my gosh, babe, that was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Like, I'm saying main stage GTC next year. Everyone's going to be calling you because I'm going to send them this video. I am so, so grateful. This one, she sells herself short a lot. Like, from the moment I got to meet Chrissy at the first GTC where you were at, Love, 4 years ago, I mean, talk about a person that just draws you in and makes you feel nothing but love. And I know that all of our East Coast team and many of us out here on the West know exactly what I'm talking about. She just envelopes you in love and generosity and such a grateful heart. It's almost impossible to believe how you once perceived yourself or how you once perceived lack in your life, because abundance just flows out of you, honey. It just flows out of you. But I feel like it's always been there at the same time. But I love now that you are in a place where you are embracing it and that you're okay with feeling that success and feeling that fire, and that it doesn't scare you anymore. There's so many nuggets in what you shared. Honestly, Chrissy, I cannot thank you enough for taking time out to do this and then sleeping 3 hours and then going to work. Like you said, no excuses.
Yep.
No excuses. I am just blown away. She minds her mind, the mindset, what she feeds her mind with every single day. I love that. That is so powerful that you carve out that time and you make that happen with listening on your way to work. And gratitude and being thankful. Oh my heavens. You've always had that, sister. And now you are blessing the world in hugely abundant ways. And talk about a glorious team. I love your team. I love every single one of their spirits, and it is not by accident that this is the team that you have. This has been ordained from the beginning, and you having that grit and staying firmly planted, even though it wasn't always an easy, a 45-degree angle. That is why you have been gifted with this phenomenal team, and I love them. I love all of you guys. Thank you so much, honey, for pouring into us. I can't thank you enough. We're going to listen to this over and over and over. Yes? Oh, my gosh. Loved it. Honey, get some rest before you go to work. I don't want you driving sleep deprived. That sounds kind of scary. But just know that we are so, so grateful and honored for your gift and for blessing us hugely. You just blew my hair back. I love you so much. Thank you for saying yes.
Thank you for asking me.
We love you guys. Have a blessed evening, and we'll catch you next month. Lots of celebration happening. Here we go, girls. Giddy up.